Hello everyone and welcome to week 7 of the Mat Pilates sessions with me, Hannah. For this session you're going to start having your feet wider than hip distance, so you've got a nice wide stance. We're going to bend our knees slightly, come down into a squat, and then we're going to put the hand on the opposite knee. And we're going to twist and look behind us and feel a nice stretch in our back. And then come back to centre and let's do the opposite side. Trying to keep low as you twist. Feel where there's any cracking in the back, maybe in the neck, and just go from one side to another. So come back to standing, straighten the legs, keeping your feet nice and wide. We're going to inhale, the arms come up, and we're going to exhale, they come back down. Inhale, come up, and we're squatting down nice and low, and come back up. So each time you go, see if you can squat a little bit further down. Trying to be aware of where our arms are, how far up they're coming, maybe how the knees feel, how the feet feel as we go down. This time we're going down and it's only the right arm that's going to come back up again as you come up. So the right arm's going up and come back down. And we're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Let's swap onto the other side. Trying to remember the breathing pattern, so you're inhaling as you come up and exhaling as you come down into the squat. Only moving one hand, one arm, trying to keep the other arm completely still. And let's now bring both arms into that movement for 4, 3, 2, and last one. 1. Come back into your squat, go slightly lower, and we're just going to pulse. And you're going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there, keep going, and come up. Now we're going to twist from one side to another, giving yourself a hamstring stretch and a lower back stretch. So coming up nice and tall, keeping the chest open and looking behind you. Making sure that the arms are parallel at all times so that they've got that nice line. Imagine that you have a stick going from one side of the arm to another. And trying each time to reach towards your feet if you can. Keeping the legs straight. And noticing each time how you're feeling, if you're feeling stronger, and if so, in which areas, and which areas we still need to do some work on. So now coming to the middle of your mat, we're going to do our squat series. So we're going to first do our alignment check, making sure the feet are hip distance apart, the navel's towards the spine, and then we come down. Down, making sure that as you bend the knees, they don't go over the feet. So you're really sitting back, working the glutes, using the momentum of the hands to really propel you down and then to bring you back up to standing. Each time you come up, making sure that you're squeezing the glutes, squeezing the pelvic floor. This time we're going down, we're going to pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up to standing. Bring the palms and the hands together and we're squatting down. And we're going for 7 more of these in your own time, going all the way down into a deep squat as low as you can, and then coming up and thrusting the hips forward, squeezing the glutes as you come up. Keep the palms of the hands together, keep the gaze forward, and try and really push down into the quads. So we're really firing up the thighs and the leg muscles. So come to the centre, feet are going to be hip distance apart. You're going to inhale, the arms are going to come up and interlock behind the head. You're going to twist the thoracic body and come so that your elbow tries to touch your knee. So you're lifting the knee just slightly higher than 90-degree angle, really crunching the abs and twist as we go. So inhale and exhale to crunch as we twist. So the weight is going from one foot onto the other. So maybe slow when you come down so that you've got that balance. Then we're going to try and crunch even further. So really quite pulling the neck and the top of the body towards the lower part of the body. So more of a dynamic movement as you come down as the knee comes up. So let's do a few more, and then we're going to release the arms. Let's do an alignment check. The arms are coming up as you inhale and exhale to come down. So nice big shoulder rotations, warming up the rotator cuff and all of the beautiful arm muscles. So inhale to come up and exhale, the arms come all the way back down again. So I want you to concentrate on not flaring the rib cage. So you're not pushing out the ribs too much so that all of the movements is coming from the shoulders and the chin is still in line with the mat. And then let's go the opposite direction. Feeling where there's any sort of tension in the shoulders, checking in with the body, seeing how the weight is distributed across the feet, making sure the glutes are tight and the abs are still strong. So let's do a few more. We're going forward. And then we're going to come up onto the balls of our feet as the hands go up. This time the arms are going backwards, and let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And then what we're going to do is come up, and as we come up, we're going to hold. And let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. Inhale. Exhale. Come back up onto the balls of our feet. Arms nice and strong. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale. Come up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Drop the arms, and we're going 1 more time. This time we're going to paddle the legs so they touch the mat and then they come straight back up again, keeping the hands above your head. And then as we do this, we're going to shoot the arm slightly further forward as though you're reaching towards something. So as the leg comes up, the hand also comes up. So now we're going to come back to center and go into a deep side squat. So you're going from one side to the other, making sure that leg is straight and the other one is bent. Bringing the arms together to help you with the momentum, and exhaling as you come down. So inhale to come up and exhale to drop back down again. Inhale to come up and exhale to go back down. So just figuring out and working with how this feels going from one leg to another. Maybe it's more wobbly on one side, maybe it's better on the other. Come back to the center. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. Your arms are going to come up so they're parallel to the mat and the shoulder height. And we're just going to make some small circles. So we're going round, keeping all of the body straight apart from the arms. And then let's go backwards, making those really tiny circles. So you're firing up all of the deep back muscles. Then we're going to do a lateral stretch. So one arm's coming over as you slide the other one down the leg and reach with the opposite arm. So really push into the stretch, reach as much as you can. Try and get the arm to sort of glide past your ear so it's keeping nice and parallel. It's not going too far forward. You're really having a good lateral stretch. Interlock the fingers. The arms are going to come up. You're going to open up the legs nice and wide. Then we're going to do a full body stretch as the arms come down and you touch the mat. So you're going up to the ceiling, bend the knees, come down and touch the mat. So you're going to be doing a really big wide bend as you come down. So the knees are going to go out to the sides and really try and go down as low as you can. If you can touch the mat, great. If you can't, don't worry about it. Let's just keep going with the stretch. Release the arms. Bring the legs back together, hip distance apart. Put your hands on your pelvic girdle and we're going to lift up the right knee. Hold there for a second. Inhale, keeping the knee up as high as you can. And then exhale to come back down, swap onto the left side. Knee comes up really high. Try and get it higher than the hips. Inhale, and then exhale to come back down. Now we're going to do some climbing movements. So you're going up with one knee and the opposite arm is coming up. And I really want you to try and grab as high as you can with that arm and then pull down. So if you make a grabbing motion with the hands and then squeeze in the wrist, it's going to help you go into the movement. So bringing up the knee and the opposite arm and bringing back down. So you're inhaling to come up and exhaling to go down. Come back to center. Let's do an alignment check. Hands are coming onto the hips and we're going to hinge forward. So we're inhaling and then exhale to hinge. So I'm just going to show you your back is going to stay straight as you come down. Try and keep both heels on the mat as you flex and try and keep your hands on your pelvic girdle. As you come up, we're now going to lift the right knee, drop the knee, come back down, hinge from the hips, and then come up with the left knee. So the whole movement, as you come up, the knee should be coming up at the same time. Let's keep going with a few more. Let's do one more on each side, making sure that as you come down, the head becomes parallel to the mat. Your neck is nice and long. Hands are staying on your hips. And this time, we're going to advance that movement even more. So we're going to hinge from the leg, hinge from the hips, and this time your leg is going to come back. So keeping it as straight as you can. Let's keep on the right side. And I want you to imagine that your body is like a pendulum. So as you come down at the same time, the leg comes up until you're parallel with the mat, and then you come back to neutral. So we'll keep going with the right leg, and let's do 2 more. And if you're finding this a bit tricky with your balance, you can be near to a wall so that if you need to, you can just put your hand out for some stability. So the last one now, and then we're going to switch on to the left side. Coming up, and let's go with the left side. Maybe paddling out the legs and coming back down. Seeing which leg you are better balanced on. Maybe it's the right side, maybe it's the left side. Just identifying what feels different in the body as you come down. So inhaling, and then we're exhaling as we go down. Making sure the leg is straight and bringing the heel towards the ceiling. So this is quite a difficult, challenging movement if you struggle with your balance. So do not worry if you've had to use the wall a bit more or if you've been shaking and wobbling. So come back to center. Inhale. We're going to shoot the right leg back into a squat, and then we're going to come up and go down with the left leg. So I want you to alternate between legs as you come down into that nice squat position. Your knee is not going to touch the mat. You're going to come to about 1 inch above the mat before you come back up to standing. Using the hands to help you with the movement. As you shoot the leg back up and come back to standing, your arms are going to push behind you, and then they're coming down into prayer as you go down. So keep alternating between legs, firing up the quads, getting the glutes much stronger. Make sure that you're squeezing the abs as you come down on the pelvic floor, just to enhance the movement, bring the hips forward. Let's go for our last one before we move on to a different set of exercises. Great, so now we're going to come down onto our knees, and we're going to do our alignment check. So the shoulders are going to come up and down. As you inhale, they come up, and as you exhale, they go down. So at this point, if you have weak knees, you might want to put a towel or a cushion under your kneecaps. This time, we're going to lean over to the right side. The hand is going to hit the mat. Your fingers are going to be nice and wide. And the opposite leg straighten so the big toe is on the mat. The hand comes up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to lift the leg. So we create that nice T position, and we're going to do some circles with that leg. So I want you to really try and imagine that you're going around a coffee cup, and then we're going to come back down. Inhale, and on the exhalation, we're coming all the way back up again. And going for those tiny circular motions with the foot, using the upper leg muscles to dictate the movement. Dropping back down, inhaling, exhaling to come back up. This time we're kicking the foot forward, dorsiflex the foot and shoot it all the way back. So this is a really good movement if you've got tight hips, and it can be quite difficult to shoot back if your hamstrings are super tight. So keep going, pushing the hip forward and then going back with the leg. Drop the leg back down. Inhale, and on the exhalation, we're going to come all the way back up again, and we're going to lift and lower. So come back down, foot taps the mat, and then you shoot the leg up. So we're going to do another 8 of these lifts, and I want you to just be aware of your spinal alignment and make sure that your ears aren't crunched towards your shoulders. So making sure you're nice and long in the neck and the head, and the ear is parallel to the mat. So you've still got that nice T shape from the head and the arms. Next time we bring the leg up, we're going to hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Start to bring the leg back down, release, inhale, and then on the exhalation, you're going up again, and this time we're going to crunch elbow to knee. So squeeze the obliques, squeeze the lateral side of the body, Let's do one more. Pull yourself in and then lengthen all the way out. Relax the knee, come up to neutral, and we're going to go to the left side. So you're going to come out with the arms. The left hand is going to hit the mat. Your fingers are going to be nice and wide as the right leg goes out. Point the toe onto the mat. Inhale to prepare. And exhale, you're going to shoot the leg to that T shape. And we're doing our little circle movements. Imagining that the toe is a paintbrush and you are drawing little circles. Bring the leg back down and we're going again. Inhale and exhale to come back up. So really small circles, the movement's coming from the top of the leg, keep the toe pointed, keep the neck nice and long, and then come back down. Now we're going to go into our kicking series. So come up again with the leg comes forward as you kick back. So you're coming forward, pointing the foot, and then going all the way back. So this is a really good movement for all your adductor and your abductor muscles on your inner thighs. Then you're going to lift and lower for 8. So let's go up into that T position, the toe taps on the mat, and then shooting back up. And 4 more to go. This is quite a quick movement as it bounces up again. So we're not resting the foot on the mat. Bringing yourself back down, doing your alignment check, and then we're coming up again, and you're going to hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the leg back down, bring the knees together, come back to neutral. So let's do 2 shoulder shrugs here. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Release the back, release the trapezius, and just check in with yourself, see how you're feeling. So you can stay there. I'm just going to come into a different position so that I can show you the next movement. So for this, we're going to inhale, the arms come up, and exhale, lean back, crunching the abs, squeezing the core, and we're really working the quads and the glutes. So you're going back just to where you can hold it, have a breath, and then come back, using the arms to propel yourself forward, and then to push yourself back again. This movement is super slow and should be done with control and precision. So really seeing where you're tightening as you lean back and seeing how far can you go before you feel like you are out of control. I want to try and stay in control at all times. And then let's finish. You're going to bring the left knee into a squat and we're going to lunge forward. So you're stretching the hip flexor and the psoas major. So if you've got tight hamstrings and if you've got tight hip flexors, this movement's going to really just loosen everything up. And let's go over to the right side and just preparing and getting ready for some of the movements that we're going to do. And then bringing the knee down, you're coming onto all fours and we're going into a thread the needle. So knees are hip distance apart, your hips are in line with the knees, your hands coming up, you're looking towards the thumb, and then you're shooting down as your shoulder hits the mat and your ear comes to the mat. So inhaling to come up and exhaling to twist and come down. Feeling a stretch all in the spine, in the shoulders, releasing any knots that you've got. So we're only holding for a second when we come down before we come back up. And let's do a few more on this side. Keeping the feet on the mat at all times. The next time you come down, we're going to have a break here. The ear's going to touch the mat, the head's going to rest on the mat, and your opposite arm's going to come above the head. So you really push into that twist, into the stretch. Hold for a second and then come back up to neutral and your all four position. Check your alignment and then let's go again on the left side. Making sure that when you come up, you really pull that hand towards the ceiling before you shoot down and under the arm. So you're opening up the chest and then coming down into the twist. Make sure that when you do this movement, the weight is on the knees and the legs rather than the wrists. And if you're wiggling from side to side, trying to get the balance across both legs and not to shake the hips as you come down. The next time you come down, we're going to go into the stretch. So placing that other arm above the head and relaxing for a breath. Pushing deeper and just letting all the muscles relax. Come back to neutral and we're going to do a cat stretch. So as you exhale, tucking in the tailbone, drawing your pubic bone forward and releasing your head towards the floor, and then coming back to neutral. Inhale, and we're doing the same thing again. So I want you to do 3 more, and this is really going to help improve the circulation in your discs. So it gets the blood flowing, it allows the spine to warm up, as well as stimulating the organs in the belly, like the kidneys and the adrenal glands. So this is a super good stretch. So coming back, I want you to come onto your elbows, and we're going to come into a low plank series. So I want you to shoot out the left leg, shoot out the right leg, and find your plank position. We're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. You're going to come back onto all fours and do another cat stretch. So we're going to make our way through these 2 movements, going from cat stretch to the low plank. So making sure that we're mobilizing the spine and then we're strengthening the core. So let's do 1 more cat stretch, and then you're going to come back down onto your elbows again. So really roll the tailbone, push through the back, then straighten up, and then come down onto the elbows. Finding that nice plank position, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the core, looking in between the hands so that the neck is nice and long. And we're just holding there, squeeze, try to focus on the breath, and then coming back to your all fours and your cat stretch. And we're doing another 4 of these. So I really want you to focus this time on your breath. So we're inhaling as we come back to neutral, and you're exhaling as you curve the spine towards the ceiling. So you're really pushing out the breath as you curl so that we can tense our abdominals. So I want you to come back down into your low plank, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abdominals, hold for 3, 2, and 1 more, and then bring the knees in. Come back onto all fours, do your alignment check, make sure your knees are hip distance apart, your feet are untucked, you're pushing up through the hands, so you're nice and strong in the back, your neck is nice and straight, so you're not looking forward and you're not looking towards the navel. And then we're going to lift up the knees just inches above the mat and hold. Bring them back down. Inhale. And exhale, raise the knees again. Tuck the feet. Bring them slightly above the mat, and we're just holding there. So this exercise is really good for the legs. It's great for the pelvic floor. And then come back down. So let's go again with that movement. Just checking in. See where you feel any discomfort. Maybe it's putting too much pressure on the wrists, and if it is, you might want to put a towel under the hands. And let's go again. So you're raising up the knees. You're not shooting the bum much higher, so I'm still in that tabletop position, and the knees are still at a 90-degree angle. And then coming back down. Inhale. This time when we go up, we're going to go into that same position. The knees come off the mat. You're nice and strong in the core. And then what we're going to do is shoot into a downward facing dog. So try and get in both heels on the mat if you can. If you need to paddle out the knees to loosen the hamstrings. We're taking 1 big inhale in downward dog. And on the exhale, bending the knees and coming back into the all fours position. But keeping the knees hovering above the mat. So we don't want them to touch the floor. And then we're shooting back into downward dog. So it's really good for the hips and the hamstrings to flow between these 2 movements. So when you next come down, I want you to come and hover above the mat again. Hold it, making sure that you squeeze in the core, and then we're dropping and releasing the knees. Untuck the feet, and we're just going to twist and look over to one side, twisting the spine, and then look over to the other side. Come back to neutral. Tuck the feet under. We're going to raise the knees, and we're just sending them out towards the edges of the mat and then back in. So you should be on your tiptoes, and you're using your inner thigh muscles to push the legs out towards the edge of the mat. So imagine that they're tapping the outside and then coming back in. Release the legs. Inhale, and then on the exhale, we're going again. So tuck the toes, and the knees are coming out towards the edge of the mat. So making sure that the back is flat and the movement is coming from the thighs. And let's just do 3 more. And last one, release the knees. Untuck the toes, come up onto your knees so you're nice and tall, and we're going to shoot out the arms and roll the wrists. So if there's any tension in the upper arms, and then we're going to go the opposite way. Keep going with this movement, and as we go throughout the practice, I just want you to be aware of how we're using those smaller muscles and how important the ankles and the wrists are. Coming down onto the mat, opening your legs wide. If you need to, bend your knees or cross them if you want. If you can, stretch them out and dorsiflex your feet. We're going to inhale, the arms are going to come up. And you're going to exhale, bring them back down. Inhale to come up and exhale to drop back down. Let's do one more time and then release. This time you're coming up and we're going to twist over to the left side. So your hand is coming towards your ankle and you're twisting and lengthening the spine. Inhale, come back up, and we're going to exhale to the right side. So really leaning into it, looking behind you, straightening the arms, and then coming back to neutral, and we're going one more time on each side. So noticing if you have tension in the hips or if your hamstrings are tight and how it feels going from one side to another. Last one, and then we're coming back to neutral. You're bringing your hands into prayer and they're going on your sternum. Give yourself a little wiggle, make sure that you're nice and comfortable. Inhale, and on the exhale, you're going to twist towards the right. Keeping the shoulders down, making sure that they don't come up towards the ears. And then come back to the centre and you're going over to the left. This time I want you to just push slightly and rock towards that side to try and deepen the stretch. Come back to the centre and we're going on the other side. So rocking your shoulders back and forth, pushing further into the twist. Then you're going to come back to centre and we're going to go on the opposite side for the last one. So you're getting a really nice oblique stretch. You're working all of those ab muscles and then relax the arms. Spin yourself round. Come onto your sit bones and bend your knees. Make sure your feet are on the mat. We're going to inhale, the arms are going to come up, and on the exhalation, you're coming down into our half roll back. Holding for a second and then coming back up. So we're going to do 8 of these. And I really want you to find that nice crunch position. So when you're coming down, so it really feels like your abs are firing up, and then come back. If you're going towards the floor and your feet are coming off the mat, you're going too far. So just come to where you feel that really deep abdominal burn and then shoot up to neutral. And we're going to do 3 more. So making sure that when you roll back, you're finding that nice curvature in the spine as you squeeze the deep abdominals and squeeze your pelvic floor. Straighten out the legs and let's reach over towards the feet, looking towards the navel to stretch all of the spine. Come back to neutral, bend your knees again. Let's do an alignment check, make sure our shoulders are away from the ears, bring the hands up, and then let's roll back down. This time we're just going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to go back down into that hold. So come up, relax the arms for a second, inhale, and on the exhale, we're rolling back down and we're going to hold again. So really firing up the core. And let's hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up, relax the arms, relax the shoulders, and let's go again. So arms are coming up. Rolling down, squeeze the abs, focus on the breath, and hold in there. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up. This time we're going down, and I want you to, when you go down, find that strong hold position. So inhale, the arms come up, exhale, come down, find that crunch position, and I want you to bring the right knee up and then the left knee. So alternating one and then the other, keeping in the same position, and then come back up. Relax the shoulders, relax the arms, and we're going back down again, holding, and we're lifting the right knee, the left knee, back to the right, back to the left, and let's go one more time and then come up. Getting ready to go back down, arms are coming up, you're rolling back to that position, and we're going to do our oblique crunches. So you've got that imaginary ball that you're passing from one side to another while looking with the head and following the arms to each side. Come back up, relax the arms, and we're going to go again. So straight back down, let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, come up. Inhale, exhale, let's go back down. Let's go again for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, come back up. Straighten out the legs and let's try and reach towards the feet. So by this point, you should be really fired up in the abs. Hopefully you're getting a bit of shaking when you go down. And let's go back into our last series in this position. So we're bending our knees, shoulders are back and down, arms come up, you're rolling down, finding that crunch, doing our oblique twist, and this time we're doing an open book movement. So you're coming down, bending to one side, and then the arm flexes out. Back to the middle, back to center, and then come up. Let's go again on the opposite side. So imagine that ball, you're opening up the arm, look towards the thumb, back to the center and come up. Let's go back down. Inhale, exhale to come down. Reach the ball round, open up that arm, stretch out the chest, come back to center, making sure that you're still crunching the abdominals as you open. So don't allow the body to come up as you open that arm. Stay as low as you can without your feet coming off the mat. Then we're coming back up to neutral, straighten out the legs, inhale, and on the exhale, reach towards the feet. Try and pull yourself forward if you can and stretch the spine. And we're doing one more of the open book series. So bending our knees again, and let's come back into that nice alignment. Feet are on the mat, shoulders are back and down. We're going to inhale, the arms come up. On the exhale, they're coming down, open book, and we're going to hold. So look towards the thumb and hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, bring the arms back together, and we're going on the opposite side. So coming all the way down, open up on the left side, and we're holding again for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, come up. Inhale, exhale, we're going down on the right side, holding for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, come back. And we're going back on the left side. Opening up the chest, still going low, crunch the abdominals, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, back to center. Release the legs, release the hands, give the legs a little shake off. And we're going to stretch towards the toes, try and get towards the feet. If you can, using the arms to pull yourself forward, stretching all of those beautiful back muscles, looking towards the navel. And we're now coming back to neutral, and you're going to lie all the way down so that the back is flat on the mat. Try and relax the shoulders, open up the chest. Your hands are going to come to either side. Your palms are flat on the mat. We're inhaling. On the exhale, we're going to tuck the feet in and bring them up to tabletop. So try best you can to create a 90-degree angle, and then we're going for our wide toe taps. So you're reaching the toe as far towards the edge of the mat as you can. And when you come up, you're trying to get them to go parallel to the other leg. Bring the knees in, and then we're going to extend the hands, and we're going to incorporate the arm movements at the same time. So you're dropping the opposite arm down towards the floor as you bring the toe to tap down, and then coming back up. And making sure that our lower back is imprinted onto the mat. So you're squeezing the navel and squeezing the lower abdominals. And last one, release the arms, release the legs, and we're going to come into our 100. This time our legs are going to go into a diagonal. So both legs are straight. Roll the head up, crunch forward. We're going to pulse the arms up and down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the arms back down, release the head, release the shoulders, open up the chest, and we're going back into that position. So really nice and strong in the legs, straighten up, arms pulsing up and down. Keep going. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, hold it strong and relax. So imagine you've got someone pulling you up, so you're really tensing as you come up. Let's go again, straighten up the legs, hands coming really straight, and let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, keep it there, keep it going and relax. Bring the knees in, roll forward, try and get the nose to the knees. And now we're bringing our arms out either side of us and we're going to rock from one side to another, giving yourself a spine twist, keeping your knees together. Bring them back to center and we're going on the left side. Relax the feet, bring them back down to the mat and your hands are going to come firm. We're going to extend and now we're going to paddle out the legs, looking forward, going up and down, not touching the mat, keeping them strong, keeping them pointed, and then we're bringing them back in. Hug towards the knees and let's go again. Going up and down, really dynamic, fast movement. And you're going for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the knees in, hug them tight towards you, roll out the feet, smile, and then let's do one more. So going back into the same position, kicking up and down. Just 3 more to go. And last one, come back in, release the feet, release the arms. We're going to inhale, and on the exhalation, we're going to curve the tailbone up towards the ceiling, coming into a really strong bridge position. Your arms are going to tap towards the back of the head and then come back down onto the mat. So imagine that your arms are that pendulum swinging back and forth, tapping behind you and then tapping on the mat. Remembering to stay strong in the glutes, pushing the hips up towards the ceiling, keeping the heels on the mat, and the rotation is coming from the shoulders. Come up with the arms. Imagine that you've got a ball in between your hands and we're going to lift up the knees. So we're going one leg and then the other. Making sure that as you do this, as you come up, that other leg stays in the same position. So trying not to drop down, trying to keep the other leg stable. Try to control any wobbling and really think about where and how you're distributing the weight between the 2 feet as you come down. Relax the hips, relax the arms, take a little breather, try and fill up your lungs, and then we're going again, keeping the arms on the mat. We're going up and we're going to pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. Hips hit the mat, inhale, and let's go back up again. This time we're going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down, inhale, exhale, let's go again. We're going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down. Inhale, and we're going one more time for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back down, release the hips, straighten out the legs, and we're coming into a high plank position. So our hips are going to be on the mat, hands are behind us. We inhale to prepare. On the exhale, we shoot the bum up so that we create this beautiful diagonal from our shoulders to our ankles. Holding that nice and strong, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads, and then release back down. Let's go again. We're going to try and hold for 10. So inhale, and on the exhalation, pushing up, holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop back down. And coming up one last time and recognizing how you're feeling in the arms, pushing up through the fingertips, through the wrists, and through the shoulders. Come up and we're holding. And let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Start to bring yourself back down. Slow and controlled. Reach towards the feet. Stretch out the hamstrings. And we're now preparing to go into our single leg stretch. So rocking back, we're pulling in the left knee, using the hands as support. Try and crunch forward, straighten up the right leg, and then we switch. So we're exhaling as we kick out the leg. So this can be a quite fast movement, going from one side to the other. If you want to slow it down, that's absolutely fine. But trying to really reach forward and tap your knee towards your nose, if you can, using the arms. Relax, come back down, and we're going to spin onto our front. So we're coming into our back series now. So let's come down, our head's on the mat, our hands are parallel to our ears. We're going to inhale to prepare. On the exhalation, we're bringing our arms down and we're going into a dart. So inhale, and then exhale, curve forward, pulling up the legs, pulling up the shoulders, and the arms are coming towards the glutes. Looking towards the middle of your mat, squeezing all your back muscles, squeezing the inner thighs and coming back down. And let's go again. Inhale. And as we exhale, pull up. Imagine someone's grabbing your ankles and pulling them towards the ceiling. So crunching and bringing together all those mid-back muscles as you come up and hold. Relax. And we're going for our final one. So inhale, and on the exhalation, you're pulling the spine up towards the ceiling, tightening all of those lower back muscles, all the way up your cervical spine, your thoracic spine, your lumbar spine. And then we're coming out of that position and we're going to turn around onto our back. So come all the way back round, lie yourself down, and we're just going to relax all of the muscles. So your hands can either be up above your head or they can be below your side, whatever feels more comfortable to you. And now we're just going to have a little breather and try and relax all of our muscles. So imagining that we are super heavy, that you're sinking into the mat. We are really starting to push ourselves the next few videos as we turn the heat up and really deepen the exercises. So just appreciate your body, appreciate the process that you've made so far, and know that each week, each session, we are gradually getting stronger and stronger. So I want you to really take a big inhale through the nose, fill up the lungs completely, and we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and you're going to exhale as slow as you can. A really big, long exhalation until all of the air is emptied from the lungs. And I want you to start opening your eyes again, coming back into the room. Your hands are going to come out to either side and we're just going to give yourselves a spine stretch. So we're going to bring the knee into 90-degree angle and send it over the right leg, looking towards the left hand, stretching the obliques and all the lateral side of the body, as well as the glutes. Coming back to center and we're swapping round. So straightening the left leg and the right leg comes over as you look towards the right hand. Trying to keep your shoulder blades on the mat. Hold for a few seconds. And then we're gradually coming back up to neutral. And we're going to bring both knees in. And this time we're straightening up the legs. So trying to get them as straight as possible, using your hands for support. And I really want you to point and straighten the legs. Now this seems like it could be a super easy exercise, but actually it can be quite difficult. Then I want you to hold both the ankles and try and bring the legs in towards you, raising the hips just slightly off the mat. Dorsiflex the feet, give yourself a soleus stretch. And then I want you to shoot out the left leg and try as hard as you can to keep the right leg up as we stretch out the hamstrings. So bending and flexing and extending the knee as we push into the hand. Using that, you're now going to swap over to the opposite side and we're going to do the same thing on the left, trying to stretch the hamstrings, flexing the knee. So don't worry if you have super tight hamstrings and this is uncomfortable. If it is, you can release and bend the knee to suit you. Coming back up, we're going to spin all the way around and we're going to do a glute stretch. So I want you to bring the ankle over the knee and raise the spine tall. So the chin is parallel to the mat and you're pulling that knee and ankle towards you, using the hands to assist with the stretch as you look forward. And let's hold for a few more breaths. And then you're going to swap over onto the left side. Again, bringing the ankle as close to the hip as you can, stretching the glutes, the IT band, all your abductor muscles, and pulling the chest towards the knee. If you can get the knee towards the chest to meet the breastbone, then brilliant. Release the leg, opening up the feet, and we're going to do a neck stretch. So I want you to look down towards the hands and maybe use the hands to walk yourselves out slightly forward and come down to a full spinal stretch with the legs out either side, using the arms to assist and pull yourself further. Coming back up, we're going to spin round and you're coming into a butterfly stretch. So your feet are coming together, toes are together. We're going to put your hands on your feet and use the hands to assist with the stretch. We're going to first stretch out the cervical spine, so which is the upper part of the spine. And then what I want you to do is inch slightly forward as we stretch out the thoracic spine, so the mid-back. And then using the hands, pulling yourself further down, and we're stretching the lumbar spine. Leaning forward, hinging from the hips as far as you can. Release the legs, open them up. If you've got tight hamstrings, you might want to bend the legs or cross them if it's easier. I want you to stretch forward. We're going to hold for a second. So really going into the back of the legs, looking down towards the navel, maybe feeling where there's any tension in the spine. And then we're going to come up and over to the right side, stretching forward, looking back. So just seeing how far we've come, if you are stretching further than you were at the first week, or how your body is feeling as we go. Come over to the left side and we're doing the same. Looking down, stretching the spine, and then come back up to neutral, bending the legs. So bend the legs, sit up tall, shoulders come up and down, and we're going to lift the arms so that they're parallel to the mat, and we're going to do a twist. So we're looking over to the left shoulder, back to neutral, and then twisting to the right. So just easing out any tension that's left in the neck, in the base of the skull, promoting better blood flow, and hopefully feeling much better throughout the day. And we're going to do one more. And then we're going to come back up to neutral, and we're lifting the arms into a V position, tapping them on the mat behind us and back into this V. So we're going down and then we're coming up. So seeing how the shoulders feel, making sure that they're not coming up towards the ears as we come up with the arms. We're going for our last one, and then we're bringing the arms back to parallel, closing them together so we clap them forward. And then we're squeezing the rhomboid, squeezing the back muscles, open up the chest as you send the arms back. So coming forward and exhaling to push back. Seeing how our upper back feels. If we're feeling strong, opening up the chest, and let's do one more. So this is the last one. Nice. Then we're going to keep the arms there and we're going to do some rotations. So big rotations coming from the shoulders, making them bigger and bigger as we go to the point where we are going around that hula hoop. So trying to keep the chin parallel to the mat, the gaze is forward, and we're going backwards. So just identifying what's happening with the rib cage as we come up. We don't want to be pushing it out too far. We're going to bend over to the right, elbows coming down towards the mat as we stretch over to that side. Pulling from the wrist, pulling from the fingertips. See if you can inch slightly further to the mat, back to neutral, and we're going on to the left side. So if you can reach your elbow on the floor, brilliant, but just make sure that your hip bones are still on the mat, so you don't want to be lifting off. And let's come back to neutral, and we're going again on the other side. So making sure that our neck isn't flopped down towards the floor, we've still got a nice straight alignment. Hold for a second, and then we're slowly coming back to neutral, and we're going on to the other side. Really pushing into the stretch, all of the lateral side of your body, all your obliques, and then back up to neutral. Hands are coming onto your pelvic girdle. We're going to inhale, the shoulders are going to come up and rotate forward. So inhale to come up, exhale to slide forward. Seeing how your rhomboids feel, seeing how your scapula feels as we come forward. And then we're going all the way up and down, and then we're going to switch sides. So we're going to come up and they're going to roll back. So this time we are pushing out the chest as the shoulders come up and down, seeing where there's any imbalance from the left to the right shoulder. If one comes further up than the other, if one is lower, maybe one crunches, maybe one's a little bit tighter, just picking up and being more aware of what our muscles and body is doing. Now we're going to sit onto our hands and we're going to do a neck stretch. So you're looking over to the right side, putting that ear towards the shoulder, using the hand to draw down, so we're pushing into the stretch a little bit deeper. Hold it there. Let's do a big inhale, and on the exhalation you're coming back to neutral, and we're going onto the opposite side. And let's inhale through the nose, and on the exhalation just going slightly deeper into the stretch. We're going to do one more inhale, and then on the exhalation slowly starting to bring the neck back up to neutral. Bringing the hands onto the knees, the shoulders are now nice and relaxed. We're going to twist the head over to the right, come back to centre and over to the left. Back to the right, and then over to the left. Trying, if you can, to look behind you, look over your shoulder, and I want you to just keep going back and forth from one side to another with the head stretching the neck, playing with tightening and loosening the abs to see how the spine feels as we twist. And we're doing one more. We're going to come back to neutral, onto the left side, and then we're going to roll the head round from one side to another. So as we're coming to the end of the session, I want you to see how we're feeling in the body. Hopefully you're feeling super energized and ready for the rest of the day. Rolling the head back and forth, slowly waking up the body and getting ready for any tasks and challenges, and knowing that your body is stronger. We're going to inhale, and on the exhalation we're going to use the hands to push against the knees as we look towards the navel and stretch the upper back. So looking down and then coming back up to neutral. As we finish off the session, let's just do a few more, and then we're bringing our hands together as we stretch up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to come down and stretch forward, holding for a second, looking between the arms, and then releasing the shoulders, release the head. So well done for today's session, and I will see you next week.